everyone, welcome back. So, in today's video, we are going to discuss about the skin cycle. Yes, as you know, I'm not talking about the bike ride. I'm not talking about the tricycle which you have in your lawn or parked in your veranda. No, I am actually talking about a cycle which your skin follows for the at least or minimum for 28 days. And it can actually keep on moving or getting longer as you start aging. Why, how does it happen, what kind of cells comes up, and how it triggers off, and where does this ends, and also how is it so important in the aesthetic field. So my dear aestheticians, keep watching this video till the end if you also want to learn about how the skin cycle is so much important in your practice and how this skin cycle works and what all things you are going to learn. So for that, keep watching this till the end, and if you have not subscribed till now, please click the subscribe button and hit the notification bell icon so that whenever we come out with a new video, you always get a ring along. Correct? Come, let's begin. See, when we are talking about the skin cycle, in the skin, we actually know by now that skin has a different layers. It is classified into 3 different layers, that is epidermis, dermis and hypodermis. Now, the skin cycle actually only works with the epidermal layer, or we call it as a epidermis. Okay, so this whole skin cycle phenomena or the things occurs only on epidermal layer. So this starts from the most basal layer over here, and it gradually moves up and comes out as a dead skin layer. Correct? Now, when we are talking about the skin cycle, understand the basic cohesion over here. So, we are actually talking about a new cell. So, a new cell generates here in the basal layer. A new cell comes up, a new cell is divided, it divides in the form, it multiplies and gives birth to a new cell. Now, this new cell gradually moves above. So, it grows in the kind of maturity and moves above. Again, it grows in maturity, moves up, and it keeps on moving in an upward direction. So when we are talking about the skin, it keeps on moving in an outward fashion. So in this skin, from beneath the basal cell layer, there are new cell develop, and to come out at the outer surface, it keeps on moving as it keeps on maturing. So new cell occurs, growth happens, maturation happens, and it leads to a topmost layer which is called as corneum. It leads to there, and then the dead skin actually sheds out. So this whole process from a new cell to the shedding is a complete cycle which goes from somewhere around 28 days to 30 days to even 60 days as well. Now, depending how this actually the days grows, it depends on the age factor as well. So when you are very young, I'll say when you are a 6-month or a 1-year baby, your skin cycle is approximately 6 days. Yes, it actually keeps on increasing as you keep on growing, because the whole body gets matured, the whole cells get matured, and the life cycle of every cell starts getting centralized, or it actually starts getting standardized as well. Example, the red blood cell has somewhere around the days 120 days. After 120 days, the RBC or the red blood cells dies off, and a new red blood cells generates. So the lifespan of one RBC is 120 days. Similarly, the cycle, the skin cycle is about 28 days. It's like an average skin cycle we are talking about. Okay. Why is it important? It is important for to actually understand this, we need to first understand where it begins and where it ends. So, when we are talking about the skin cells, we talked about the epidermis layer. In the epidermis layer, there are 5 layers which comes up. Corneum, then we have spinosum, granulosum, and we have basal cell layer. Now, this basal cell layer, can you see it over here? These also have stem cells there and keratinocytes. What happens? The divisions occurs over here and they multiply. as per. So when they multiply or when they generate, so the old cell gets up and the new cell takes the place. Again, the old cell gets up, new cells takes the place. So it's like a push over thing. So when a new cells generate, the old cells comes up and it tries to keep moving above, or in skin we call about moving outward to come up on the surface where the dead skin is there. And in few hours or few days, the dead skin also sheds off. Talking about why is it important or why we need to know or how this basically moves as per. So it is important to know about the movement, about the skin cycle. Reason being, when you plan aesthetic treatment or when you're planning for a medifacial, for like any kind of peels or any kind of, I'll say microneedling, vampire facial, photofacials, anything you are planning. So when you know about the skin cycle, you actually can determine in how many days you want to keep another session, correct? And that is the reason, if you actually look over maximum time, we give a break of 3 to 4 weeks to a client before we call the client for another session. Why is that so? It is because of this thing. It is because of the skin cycle. Because it is of 28 days, it takes the skin to actually react, stabilize, get used to, and actually react to the treatment which has been occurred. Example, if you have done a HydraFacial, after HydraFacial, we tell the client how to post-care, how to take the care of the facial after it is being done. So, a post-care advice is given, everything is being told, skin care is advised, everything. And we also tell the client, your skin is sensitive right now, so pay extra care. Why we are telling this? Because we have extirpated the dead skin layer. So now, when we have actually triggered a basic phenomena where we have extirpated the dead skin, now a new cells would come up. They'll try to come up because it will be forced from beneath. So a new cell will be generated below. It will try to come up and create another dead cell in the next span of 4 weeks. And after 4 weeks, the client comes again for the HydraFacial and you remove that old cell again. Again client comes, you keep on removing those old cells which keeps on coming back and back. And after few sessions, you can see the change in the overall things. Why? Because that old cell which were coming, because you performed a treatment, the treatment got in, it changed the new cell. It changed the new cell, it changed or it made a change here, okay, in the basal layer. Now, this change has to come here. And to make this happen, the skin cycle needs to keep on moving again and again and again. When this happens, so the change, when whole of the layer is changed completely. So, old cells which were coming before, they were pigmented, okay. So, you had the pigmentation, but now the new cells which are coming, they are not so pigmented. They don't have that dark melanin in themselves. So, now when these old cells will come up, they will not have any pigment and they will be more plainer. So, your pigmentation would gradually decrease off. So, that is the reason we keep on repeating the number of sessions after certain point of time, only for the reason being because these old cells needs to keep on come up, become a dead skin, remove off, exfoliate, shed off with a treatment or a facial, and then again we do the cycle again and again. And because of this, the kind of problem we are facing, we just need to get rid of it. So when we are talking about, this is a basic complete cycle to understand what is actually happening in 28 days. So on the day 1, actually there is a, I'll say multiplication or changes is being done in the basal cell layer, okay. By the day 7, in the first week, the cell matured and pushed up. So the old cell which got matured, it is being pushed up. So the new cell remains here and the old cell comes up on the granulosum and spinosum layer. Now, after 14 days, it leads again to a spinosum layer. Here the nucleus goes off, the granules goes off, everything into the cell gets diminished, weaker, or I'll say the cell starts getting more and more into the zone of being dead, okay. Then after 21 days, it comes up on the corneum layer, or we call it as a dead skin layer. After the next 7 days, in the next 7 days, they all shed off. And that is called as skin shedding, or we call it as a dead skin shedding, skin exfoliation, or we even name it as skin rejuvenation. Correct? Now, this whole cycle completes in an average of 28 days. Please understand. And this becomes our basic understanding of why the sessions are kept in some long distance. Okay? Now, what basically helps when we actually understand and when we know about the skin cycle, what happens when the skin age, okay? So, aging plus sun damage or smoking or any of the bad habits, I'll say, stress, poor nutrition can lead from this kind of skin to this kind of skin, if you see over here. So, can you see the epidermis is more compressed, the cell maturity happens slower, the new cell generation happens slower, and because of that, this dead skin is all the time over the skin. It is not shedding again and again. And reason being that your skin appears wrinkly, dull. At the same time, you have a lot of, like, you don't have any glow, you don't have any kind of, I'll say, serene to the face. Now, to again see, we cannot change this because this is going to happen gradually, but this can be changed, this can be changed, this can be reduced, and definitely this can be changed off. When we actually take care of the sun damage, smoking, stress, nutrition, we can age gracefully, we can age very finely, and we can age actually appropriately without damaging the skin, and actually helping the skin to keep itself renewed, rejuvenated, and actually shiny and glowy. Correct? Now, why does it matter in aesthetics? Why this 28 days so much matters in aesthetic? Reason being, if you do HydraFacial, peel, microneedling, laser, whatsoever treatment, in how much time you want to call the client, that depends on that cycle. In how much time this actually the treatment will help the client will actually depend on that cycle. How better results you can give them out, how the better healing would happen, and how appropriate time it is going to take or sessions it is going to take for them to heal. So, if the client is following the proper skin care, proper nutrition, less of the stress, and still if they are aging, that's okay, because their skin cycle still can be equal or not equal but very nearby to a very younger client as well, because they have managed, if I have to say, they have managed the rest other things, if not one but the rest other. So, this can be taken care of. With that, the skin cycle can be taken care of. So, the skin cycle is of 28 days for any of the average male or woman, male or female, I'll say. But if they start aging, so yes, the cycle can expand. If you are a 65-year-old woman, I'll not be in my senses to assume that you will have a 28-day cycle. No. I'll basically increase that cycle accordingly. How much damage you have, how much skincare you are using, any of the nutrition issue, any of the health issues, or any of like kind of bad habits, smoking, alcohol, any of them. So, if you have any of them, so automatically this here's, I'll say the skin cycle is increased. So, I'll not keep it for 28 days. I may assume or I may consider it longer. Maybe 40 days, maybe 60 days, maybe more. But if you are gradually following everything, since you were younger, you're following good nutrition, proper UV protection, proper skin care, and complete exercise and everything, and your skin feels nourished, rejuvenated all the time. So, yes, I'll not assume to have your skin cycle to be very lengthy or far away. No, I'll consider it nearby somewhere, maybe 30 days, 35 days or 40 days maximum. Okay, because of only one factor, that is age. That's it, nothing else. Now, basic key points or basic takeaways that you have from this video. That is, please understand, new cells begins from stratum basal. They move upwards or we can say outwards, okay. They form the skin barrier, or we can say the dead skin layer, which actually protects you from any of the external problems. They shed naturally. But after a certain point of age or because of the certain issues, they stop shedding naturally and you have dull skin and a lot of other issues. So they need to be exfoliated. Average skin cycle is 28 days, but it's not something very rigid. It can be plus minus. Then healthy renewal is equal to healthy skin. So healthy renewal occurs because of the treatments, because of the skin care, and because of the kind of care you take of your skin, either in lifestyle problems or in the nutrition way or by a proper sleep even. Yes, if you have a proper sleep, the skin may appear very glowy and healthy as well. So that is the reason we always say skin does not only rely on one thing. Skin relies on multiple factors, correct? I hope this was helpful to you guys. We'll meet in the next video super soon again. And if you have not subscribed, do subscribe and hit the notification bell icon. Take care everyone. Bye-bye.